Oh. What am I clicking on? I've forgotten how to stream. Thought I ever knew how to. This? Hi, I'm BoredGamer. Hope you're doing well. I'm not sure if this is the normal time I stream. Do I normally stream at 4? At some point. Hope everyone's doing well. I just streamed for a little bit today, just say sort of hello to people. When I was sort of waiting on Alpha 4.2 to go to live, which could be today. Cool. At some point this week, CIG have basically said there's a release candidate one they put out over the weekend. And based on feedback from that, they're going to either release another release candidate today or tomorrow, and then get 4.2 out soon after. That's the sort of idea. I hope everyone's doing well. If you'd like to ask a question during the live stream, question in brackets. I'm just going to talk about some random bits and bobs for like Alien Week and the Prowler utility and the Bastardus and the weekend that's just gone. Stuff like that. I met a load of people at this the Bastardus in Manchester. Chris Roberts turned up, which was great. Chatted to him for a bit. Lots and lots of people actually. And lots of people from the economy team, the 3 sort of major ones. I talked a bit about player-to-player trading, or something that was referred to as P2P trading, which I assumed was player-to-player, or person-to-person. Talked about effort versus reward for how they're going to be pricing stuff because they have to do a lot of the economy manually at the moment. They're going to be doing a lot of it automatically with StarSim in the future. Yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's any juicy bits that I can tell you now that I know won't get anyone in trouble, because I treat a lot of this stuff. It's not a huge amount, but I treat some of the stuff as NDA'd. Because alcohol and devs and stuff are all involved. And me and alcohol, I might have misheard, I might have misread stuff. I did like the fact that this is a note that was written in my book by Dev when I was at the bar. Happy devs, fun games equal money. So that's what CIG try to do, right? They try to make their devs happy. They make fun games, and that makes money. That's a sort of the algorithm I thought was hilarious. I had a lot of interesting conversations with a lot of people. I talk a bit more about some of that stuff in the podcast that Zin and I did today, which will come out in a few hours. So check that out if you are interested. Hope everyone is doing well, actually. Like, I talked a bit about 4.2.1, but we don't know too much about that other than there's something for everyone in it, I've been told. Hello. Thank you for all the kind words. Genuinely appreciate it. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you messaging me about the my charger. That's appreciated. After I realised I was getting a bit tipsy, I decided just to go. Like, I'm out. I don't have the constitution I used to anymore drinking. Everyone was trying to buy me a drink. And I was like, nope, go in. Thank you. I appreciate you telling me that. We'll sort it out. I bought a new phone anyway. My phone sort of died while I was there. Thank you. I appreciate all the kind words. Is 4.2 coming out today? It is possible. I think if it's ready, it will probably be tomorrow rather than today, just because CIG left 4.2 up, release candidate 1 over the weekend, and typically all I want to do a few quick little fixes, get another build out, and then go live immediately afterwards, assuming that there's nothing immediately broken in that build. That's typically what they do. So it's this week for 4.2, that's what they've said at all times. Release candidate 1 came out on Friday, I believe. And it could be today, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, no worries at all. Happy to help. You land at Seraphim? I can't land at Seraphim, and that's no problem. Rest works fine. I don't know in the current patch 130k in your... So it's worth checking the issue cancel for that. Yeah, I'm glad that people have got into the spirit of naming their Idrises and stuff. Obviously, that will be expanding out to all ships at some point. So CIG seemed really, really... well, Chris is super excited for Squadron. Like, really excited. I've to him about that for a while. And a lot of the CIG team there are really happy that they've got 4.2 sort of ready. But 4.2.1 and a load of stuff they've got planned for later this year, they're excited about as well. I talked to some mission designers, and I didn't see Elliot there, Kuaku, unfortunately. Yes. The question in brackets, and then say what your question is. I'll try and answer it, or at least talk about it as a subject. Anyway, it was interesting, right? So, I always like the silly food competitions, just because you see some good recipes turn up. But they've also obviously got the Prowler utility. But I think the utility is really interesting ship. Let's bring that bad boy out. Oop. So, it's basically a cheaper Prowler that's cargo orientated, but it's still stealth and potentially an aggressive stealth ship, right? So it's got 3 jump seats still, but its central module has been ripped out, and it's got a tractor beam, and it's got easy accessible and deployable cargo. It's lost its size 5 weapons. It's got 2 size 4s instead. Still got the little turret on top. It's a good bit cheaper than the other Prowler. So, like some other paints. Like this one. Poland store. Prowler. Polar load there. I like white and orange. Like the Asimov skins in yes. Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting ship. I do think that as we have more reasons to do stealth, try and get cargo in up cargo and get in and out quickly sort of gameplay, it might become a lot more useful. It's got 32 SCU of cargo. Yeah, I really rate it. I was talking to Sin about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, this is the sort of cargo ship that I like," sort of thing. I was like, "Okay, that sort of makes sense." A lot of people were hoping to see other ships turn up. Anyways, do you think the sequels, chapters of Squadron, are built, or will they need to keep dedicating resources to it? So, Squadron 42, Episode 2 and Episode 3, which are their own effective standalone AAA games, they're not built yet. They're not splitting up Squadron 42 into 3 sections either. It's additional. But the engine and everything's built for it, but the missions and story and mocap and everything like that, they might have a little bit of it, some of it. So it's going to take a while to get those games out. It's going to be at least a couple of years between those games, at least. I don't get why they have chosen to keep the drop seats. So there's only 3 drop seats inside now. What do you mean by better interior? So those drop seats will allow you to basically have a little bit of a little crew to assault or maintain cargo sort of operations going on board. Like, so you'll be able to do grab cargo quick, or send someone out to board a ship and grab cargo. Will I be able to name my Grey Cat ATV? I'm not sure if we're able to name ground vehicles or not. That's a really good question. are they expecting to continue the monthly patch cadence? They say it's working at the moment, and this is very much the year of playability. It's not a true monthly patch cadence this year. I think they said they were intending to get 10 patches out in total this year. But yes, pretty much. You think they're going to be able to submerge anytime soon? Actually, under the water. They want water-based gameplay to a degree. You will be able to do that. But I've not got any information on that beyond what they said a while ago. I will not buy all the ships, Amelia. I'm not even going to buy myself all the ships. Was it 3 hours a day, he said? Yeah, so I was talking to Chris for quite a bit. He was so excited. I love the fact he came down. I love the fact he was chatting and didn't mind shaking my hand like 3 times because I was a little bit pissed. He was he's good chap, good sport. Did they mention the engineering tech preview? I don't think it's even my notes. No, I didn't actually ask much about that. They did say that engineering would be coming soon. Economy stuff mostly. So no new updates on that. I'm expecting it to turn up during the 4.2 cycle. Maybe I did talk to... Because sometimes I do a lot of talking and I'm talking to devs and they just sort of nod. Thank you for all the kind words. Genuinely appreciate it. Hello, hello. Thanks to the mods being here. So, any word on VR support? No. So, nothing additional on VR support beyond once they've got Vulkan integration fully in and it's out of sort of beta or whatever, and they've developed some of the graphic stuff a little bit more. They will be working on VR integration. That's the plan. A couple of devs have said they will basically work on it in their spare time if they have to. Yeah, I do remember talking about engineering, but a lot of the time I was saying, oh, I'm expecting this from engineering, and people going, yes, probably. I've got to differentiate what was my hopes and people just nodding at me rather than... How do you think persistence will look with 4.2 and future patches? So that's interesting. There's a load of additional items that have been added to the LTP, the long-time persistence database stuff. So lots of the like Copeland horns and Balakar teeth and stuff like that. Loads of stuff. Thank you very much. Game Overture. Genuinely appreciated. Anyone that wants to further support the channel can use the join button on YouTube or Twitch. That goes to the channel. Donate, subscribe, chat, all that sort of stuff. Thank you so much. Get Kexodus. Thank you very much. I genuinely appreciate it. 2 people. A lot of people. At the same time. Thank you. And Milkman. Thank you. What about Milkman first? I can read. I have a problem because I'm dyslexic. I've got lots of problems. But like, any words, any letter... Oh, Jim Broker, thank you. This is the best. I just go, oh, just donate some money as well, please. No. It's just, you say stuff and then people do things. It's great. So I try not to... RD cool, thank you very much. Genuinely appreciated. To make sure there's not a bug. It's not just going to go through every single sub that's ever been on my channel in a row. That would be crazy. But genuinely appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Thank you for years of great content. Well, so most of my content is just regurgitation of what CIG's doing and compressing data down, right? That's around. But I appreciate it. I really enjoy doing what I do. What I found interesting was a load of the devs at CIG. Some of them are like, oh, I work at CIG because I watch your videos. So like, oh, I got interested in the game, found out about the project, and found out about like a job description because I was watching one of your videos and you mentioned it and things like that. I was like, oh, that's really kind. And I got told they watched that I led my videos internally to help catch up on where something fits into the pie. And I was like, oh, that's amazing to hear. I mean, Chris knew who I was, which was like fantastic by my voice. So that was really cool, like genuinely. And it was great to meet so many people there as well. No updates on the Raylan, which I think a lot of people were hoping for this Alien Week. So no new updates on that. Zin needs to make a new background video using a really old one. If a person were to buy one copy of every ship that you can buy outside of packs, what would the price be? I don't know, but it would be a lot of money. I'll have to have a look at some point. It would be a lot. About 200 ships, right? It'd be like 60 grand. It would be something like that. My real quick napkin maths. Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I see. Grimboit, you donated a load of subs. Appreciated. Genuinely appreciated, sir. I said I can't read. Ali Star. Thank you. Amazing. It's going well. Thank you very much for asking. Now that we're talking about alien ships, what will you expect that when will the Rylan come out? Don't know. Early as next year. So I don't know how far they are along with it. There's a load of unannounced ships and vehicles that they're working on. I say unannounced, ones they have not told us what they're working on. Do they need the Rylan for anything? I don't think so. So I'm not expecting it to come out in the near future. I'm not that cool at the moment. It's bloody hot in here. I'm looking forward to playing. What's the games that are on my radar at the moment? FBC Firebreak, The Alters, and Parallel Experiment. Firebreak and Parallel Experiment are multiplayer games. Parallel Experiment is like a little two-player escape room thing that I'm playing to play with Zin. Firebreak, I'm going to play with probably Zin and her partner. Sort of, it looks like it's a bit SCP Foundation, first person, Left 4 Dead kind of cross. The Alters looks great. It's a mixture of Dave the Diver and Frostpunk. What it looks like. Richard, good to meet you on Saturday. I was a randomer who rocked up and joined your table. Stuff. It was good to chat to you, mate. I always appreciate people just coming and say hello, coming and join, and just chilling, right? Like that's sort of what you want at a bar as an event. And typically everyone's pretty cool. Yeah. Firebreak looks pretty cool. Do you know what point, if at all, they're planning on integrating the new Atmo flying in 4.2? So 4.2 has ground turbulence enabled, They've tweaked some of the stuff there. The new atmospheric flight is not in 4.2 beyond that, as far as I'm aware. Like the new flight model stuff they are working on, and there's 3 major aspects to it, which is the space flight stuff, the new quantum travel experience with quantum boosting, basically getting rid of nav mode, and also control surfaces and atmospheric flight together. But that's not coming yet. You might get bits of it before then. It sounded like they wanted to deliver it all together, but if a person were to buy, we talked about that earlier. I think God. Do you think VR would... How do you think the VR looked like in Star Citizen? Would it be like a set of Corsa? So, I don't really know. I think VR-wise, I'm expecting it to be VR in Squadron 42 first, or Star Citizen. Not just because Squadron 42 will come out before Star Citizen will, but I just think it's a more rounded... it's an experience where they have more control over the VR with, so they know how they want you to see it. Now, do you think there's a reasonable amount of additional work to make the VR experience good and fun and cinematic as part of it as well? For a large part of it, you're playing like Squadron in VR. You're going to be watching a movie, effectively, right? Did the story that the server meshing team left get debunked? I haven't had anything since I was on the headline. So, the team didn't leave. A couple of people that were there from the beginning of server meshing had left. So, people that were integral to the building of the original server meshing, they had a major part to play in it, had left. It's not the whole team or anything. There were people that were working on server meshing and networking at the Bar Citizen. So it's not something that needed to be debunked or anything. It was probably just exaggerated by some people, or I think it was headline was something like devs that are integral devs to server meshing leave, or something like that. Something like that, right? Do you think hacking will include ship doors or a bit of piracy, or is it aimed at station and bunker terminals? I believe it will be ship doors and various other things to hack as well. Some of it will be mission-based hacking things. I did have some questions about hacking, but I don't think I asked them. Any update to settings configs for native joystick throttle rudder support? Currently only one device per access. I know they want to be more compatible with more devices and make it easier for people to use multiple devices, but I don't know much more than that. I haven't asked any questions about it for ages. What else have we got? So I'm expecting 4.2.1 to be out at the end of, so the next major patch after this one, at the end of next month. I think they sort of go back to the trying to typically target them around then, I think. So July. Is July Foundation Festival, or is that the Foundation Festival or the Spaceship competition, right? The next Spaceship competition called? Not the next best Starship, that's something else. Ship Showdown. The Ship Showdown. My brain literally melted. I've had a lot of August. Yeah. So August is Ship Showdown. July is Foundation Festival. I've heard a lot of people talk about inventory persistence, tier 0, tier 1, tier 2. Can you briefly explain these and what they are? If it's not too long, have you done any videos on it? Yes, I have. The inventory persistence stuff is tier 0, basically anything that's on your body when you get taken out, when you respawn, is effectively fused to your body and you respawn with. I say anything, it's not anything. It's your armor and your weapon, effectively. But not stuff in your backpack. Not stuff in your pockets. I think at the moment you also spawn with your ammo still. And basically moving beyond that, well, I said moving beyond that, you can't loot the armor and weapon off a player's body. With that system. With tier 1, the current system we've got, players, their stuff's fused to their bodies, can't use it. Can't loot it even. Unless it's in their backpack, right? The one they're holding, their armor, they respawn with that. Then you're going to have tier 1 and tier 2, and basically that allows you to loot items off people's bodies, but they effectively can become bricked when someone reclaims them. So if they're insured and someone goes, I'm claiming the insurance on this, or whatever, then that bricks that item, and you can't use it, but you might be able to sell it for scrap or disassemble it. And then the sort of tier 2 implementation of it all is that you can actually repair those items, you can get them working and functional again. That's the basic sort of rundown of the persistence stuff for inventory persistence. But I was doing it without my notes. But yeah, that is pretty accurate to what the persistence stuff is. They want to tie it into Death of a Spaceman as well, and Mortality, and all that sort of jazz. Scheduled for production in 2024 for the Ryland. So it might get pre-production work. I've had pre-production work done. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't heard anything more about the Ryland. Well, I had something in my notes about it, but I can't verify it. So occasionally stuff turns up in my notes because I sort of assemble all my notes and update and cross stuff out when newer stuff becomes available. And I have something that it was in production or pre-production, but then I couldn't verify that from any source. So it might have been something someone told me in a live chat or whatever, and I noted it down. So, nice to see you at the Barcelona on Saturday. I'm the guy talk to you with Cornerstone. Talk about our new research project. Introductory. Name's Cat. There you go. Got your Cornerstone card. Yeah, yes, I'll need to. I've got a random assortment of people's media. I will go through it. I really like the idea of Cornerstone. Knowledge base, universal item finder, and planetary survey. I went to my first CIG event, Barcelona, a few weeks ago. I gave away 7 Krakens, true story. They were prints of a painting. Yes, I'm going to be saying Yeti. Still, I think that's pretty cool. If I ever see you, art is always welcome. And firm handshakes as well. Which tier do you subscribe to items, just become a blueprint, you can craft and crafting station? I really like the idea of being able to craft So crafting in Star Citizen is going to take many forms, including the crafting of items, the upgrading of items. Same with ships. You can craft all the ships. You can upgrade ships to different tiers. I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to ask there, Sketch. But I like the idea of blueprints from subscriber items. Maybe paid blueprints that are used with real money. You can have hugs. Hugs. Sketch. How is it harder? Serious question. If you're just using the head and eye tracking parts of VR, it seems like a no-brainer to integrate the same settings. So that's harder from a cinematic point of view. They are trying to make Star Citizen, well, Squadron 42, I was talking about, work at like every angle and everything. When you move it, port it to VR, you're effectively porting it to an environment that it wasn't originally designed for, so there needs to be additional thoughts that go into that, for sure. It might be relatively easy, but there does need to be more. I mean, I'm fine with them doing the item recovery like they wanted to. I do want to be able to loot everything off people's bodies. I like the idea of respawning with all your stuff as well, as long as you're insured. Oh, sorry, that's the other thing. Insurance ties all into it as well. So you need to insure your items. Not currently, but you will. I'll have tier 1 and tier 2. Yeah, I think you're going to be getting blueprints from loads of different sources as well, right? From missions, from reputation, from trade, loads of different ways. From events, from sandbox activities. Any updates for native joystick? No, as I said earlier, haven't heard anything more. I know CIG are wanting to support as many controllers as possible, both in scope and amount that you can put, devices that you can put, and have them all functioning appropriately and be detected appropriately. But I don't have any more information on that at the moment beyond what they said a while ago. Do you know if CIG has fixed the clipping through doors with a box exploit? I'm not 100% sure. I think it is more of a server tick rate issue. No. Do not worry. I'm very pro Tobii Eye Tracker. I like the fact that's natively supported. My favourite ship remains the Mercury Star Runner. I absolutely love the Mercury Star Runner. I think it is beautiful. I think it is interesting. Got a little hidey holes. It's everything I want. Everything I want in a ship. I appreciate all the kind words. Thank you. Yeah, but so 4.2 I think was a relative surprise for a lot of people because they went, look, bam, we've got the Valakar in. It actually works pretty well, that fight. We've got the Icties in. And we've got that sort of dynamic weather and those storms and these interesting new locations. It's quite a lot there. I was expecting more ships, but we've got obviously the Prowler utility and the Icties, and it is effectively a range of Icties because there's the Icti, the Icti Geo, and the Icti Rad. Second. Why not be?
That looks good.
So I thought it was a an every delivery form. Yeah, it was really it was genuinely really cool to see Chris at the Masters, and I wasn't expecting to see him there. He just I was chatting to a man we know, well, it's Captain Osborne, but we all call him Space Dave Grohl, and he's a good chap. He's one of my favourite people at Bar Citizens. Chatting to him, Chris just sort of turned up behind us, started chatting to us. Hi. It was cool to see him. Do you think the Ironclad will be out this year? I'm hoping it turns up at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. We are expecting the Perseus to turn up, the IGFs, but I don't know if it's going to be other stuff. Like the Ironclad is on a list. There's a non-zero chance of it turning up, so I hope it does. Am I expecting it to? I'd say there's a 35% chance. Yeah. 35%, I reckon. More sponsor streams of years. Well, yeah, we did we've done AMD. Maybe in the future, we'll see. How extensive Star Citizen is, what are some ways of new players to learn and familiarise themselves with playing the game? I'm constantly going into menus and trying to learn. So, that's interesting, because you're likely going to have a better player experience in July, that patch, just because it's the Foundation Festival. They have that sort of stuff in mind. Obviously, there's more and more of a new player experience kind of all the time. They're trying to make sure the tutorial for the game is sensible and working. Star is an interesting one because you sort of learn the keybinds as you go for a lot of the stuff, right? Like you go, oh, this is an interesting one I didn't know I could do. Like when I'm still messing around with my Crossmaster Solar because I keep on going, oh yeah, need that, oh yeah, and they change keybinds, or at least they used to loads, a little bit less nowadays. A bit of bind tweaking. They've also got the trainee system stuff as well on the website. Yeah, best to learn combat for sure. Arena Commander, offline mode. But you could do racing map. Yeah, you could do free flight as well. I like messing around in Pirate Swarm or Vandal Swarm. Will the Alien Week sale be followed by a 4.2 patch sale with the release of the standard ATLS ICT? So, this is an interesting question, right? Are they going to... So, in the Inside Star Citizen about 4.2, they talked about the ICT, basically said, at least, from what I understand, at least a version of the ICT only be obtainable effectively in-game, or at least that's the plan. Well, the reason I say at least a version is because there is a marked difference between the ICT, ICT Rad, and ICT Geo, and it's possible that none of these are going to be sold for real money. Possible that one or more of them might be. Just bear that in mind. The IG might go, yeah, this one is earned in game, but you can buy these, and people want. A lot of people want them to sell them. A lot of people don't want them to sell them, or at least some. But you'll probably have a mixture of the 4.2 patch and Alien Week patch sales converging. I'm expecting 4.2 to be released within the next couple of days. That's my expectation. The Alien Week to continue into that. The thing with Star Citizen as well, it depends what you want to do, to what you want, how you learn. See what I mean? Because if you're not doing FPS stuff, it's going to be different for if you want to be doing salvaging, right? And I just say, like little bite-sized pieces and just have a goal. Go off and do something and sort of go, how do I do this? How do I do that? Get confused, inevitably. I do expect a better kind of new player experience with entry-level missions for everything and well, actually the tooltips were pretty good for a lot of stuff. Any news on the RSI Galaxy? No. I believe they're making it straight after the Perseus, though. They might be doing some work on it now as well. What's your most anticipated upcoming ship? Probably the Perseus. Very excited for Perseus. I honestly think the marketing model for Star Citizen is no news is bad news when it comes to, like, if they sold all versions of the ICT and people were like, well, you said you wouldn't. They go, yeah, but people wanted them. People complain about it and then people still buy them. How far do you expect the Reclaimer rework to go? What variations do you expect? Ooh. So obviously the Reclaimer and a few other ships need a little bit of tweak, a little bit of a rework. Not a full reconcept and rework, but just a refresh. Like they're built on sort of old metrics and systems, and it'd be great to have them get a little bit of love. And CIG have said as much. There's no timeline on that yet, but especially for the internals anyway. Variants of the Reclaimer, I kind of like the idea, but I suppose what I really want is enough customizable option rather than, right? But I don't know when we're going to see reworks of ships like that. So I think the plan is to release the Vandal ships with Squadron updates, but I don't hold me to that because that's what I thought about the Idris. I was just disappointed they didn't sell any blades for ships I fly. They will be coming soon. 4.2 has blades in the stores as well. Hello, hello. Thank you for all the kind words. Appreciate it. COG talked about how they are planning on adding player mortality. So that's Death of Spaceman, and we know that there is basically going to be a death taxes to some degree. Your ability to permanently die may be, although we'll sort of see how this all pans out because they might be like deal with regeneration, and you'll start to see like more permanent scars, or your limbs have to be replaced with bionics and stuff because the imprint's imperfect. That's sort of kind of the Death of Spaceman stuff is currently starting to be explained by the regen crisis, the in-game lore story that's going on. Eventually, the idea is that you die too many times or in some dumb ways, and maybe you haven't got health insurance or whatever, you can permanently die. But your stuff goes to your next of kin, which is the next character you create. There's a level of death tax. I think the main thing will be reputation loss. Probably the worst thing there to lose. And a lot of stuff, even with item recovery, is steps towards that and medical stuff. Even stuff to do with the long-term persistence database, I suppose, kind of a little bit. It's not the camera wiggling, it's me wiggling. Me wiggling my leg. No sourcing up of devs for me. Could licensing asset packs all the art and items they made something CIG does in the future? I mean, I wouldn't rule anything out highly, but I mean, they could license out their engine for other games, and they could license out their devs to other studios and to make games and compartmentalize that a bit, potentially. I see what you're saying. I think they'll want to make money as a studio beyond Star Citizen and Squadron 42 games. Right. Anyone else still not doing much with Willow or contested zones until a couple of patches where the stuff carries over? So, from 4.2 onwards, that stuff should more readily carry over. It's all been added to the long-term persistent database now. A lot of that contested zone stuff, a lot of that Wicklow stuff. Are you familiar with the Gundam series? Only a very minor amount. You understand why I want a Universe's Century Gundam game in this engine? Just one solar system. Don't know much about Gundam. I like Gundams. That's as much as I know. I'm pro mech. Mecha. And what else? I need to do my Banu pad krapow and a basil stir fry. I think encapsulates perfectly the Banu 9 tastes. Would you please watch the Gundam original series? Yeah, I can check out on my list of things to do for sure. I think the thing that Zin wants me to watch the most is Daredevil. I think the Reclaimer exterior should remain untouched. Yeah, just some more minor tweaks. I agree with that. That's my point of view as well. Do you think orbit vehicle mech drops will ever be a thing? So I think that the mechs will be able to survive impact on the ground with jetpacks and stuff. Or stuff I'm expecting. Or even from very high heights. Man, I want Typhoon now. I think Thai's my favourite sort of... Yeah, favourite sort of food. Relatively easy to cook as well, Typhoon. If I was a billionaire, I would hire you to cook in my mansion. Thanks, Amelie. Appreciate that. Ooh. You are an absolute star for sending me that right up. What a legend. That is genuinely appreciated. I can merge it with my notes and then we'll also use it as a sanity check that was drinking. Has the Asgard Death Door been fixed in 4.2? Don't know. Don't want to say yes. Go like, nope. Right. I am going to dash because I want to get the podcast out. I also want to look through this cool selection of notes that I've just been sent about the Fast Listen. What do you want me to call you? Because obviously your name on Discord is different to your name here. Please feel free to message me if you want me to reference you as a contributor to some of the notes and stuff, which you're always happy to do, obviously, because it's your work. Let me know how you want me to refer to you as. Yes, genuinely. Thank you so much for watching. Genuinely appreciated. I'm going to see who else is streaming and recommend you go over and say hello to them. I'm going to send you over to Super Mac Brother because, oh boy. I think we're going to be able to have quite a lot of fun with 4.2 pretty soon as well. I want to fight some Valakar. Raid. Boom. Right. Genuinely, thanks so much for watching. It is appreciated. I hope you have a great day, everyone. 4.2 should be out real soon. And we'll be putting up a podcast in a minute. I love you. See you. Bye.